Boom! At the open, all-time high for the S&P 500.
It's your boy Jimmy.
Now, what's worth doing is worth doing for money.
Straight from y'all street to Wall Street.
Anybody tells you money's the root of all evil, doesn't make up half.
Dudes wake up, hope their girl turned on so they can get a little bit. Only woman in the morning, I wanna turn on this. Becky quick. While the average man looking at it's sad like she fine as yeah. I'm over here looking at tails and whips like yeah, 5'6". Yeah, I left the mayhem for the market. Now I don't want a dope spot, I want to stop it. I know that booty got dry, triggered my stop losses, but I ain't got time for your wop. My V-wops crossing. Rich with hot V's and pushing hot keys. Strategy and plans to make grand. Still in my wife beater. Batman pajamas, house slides, and about 5 hot picks for the day. Cause I like the way the Dow bounces. 4 hot dips on call, so I got options. 2 with a lot of volume, 1 with a double bottle. Now I know dumb money don't understand. Am I talking about my trade or just thinking with my MACD? You see, we different in the way we move. You move with kittens and your dog, I move with bears and bulls. I got a green thumb, grow with the marijuana. Waking up with the fun, some commas. Jump out of bed, big profits. Eat my bacon and eggs, big profits. Light up, watching them candles, profits. While I'm still in my sand, making profits. They used to watch me move them packs and stop. Now I watch moves in the NASDAQ. Profits. Used to run from the ATF and them cops. Now I run down ETL, making profits. I jump out of bed, make profits. Eat my bacon and eggs, make profits. Light up, watching them candles, profits. While I'm still in my sand, making profits. Yeah. See, me and Jim Cramer been talking mad money. Said today I'm taking a risk. They got the feds coming, but I got support here with me. I call it short squeeze. You get the drop, she pull the trigger and abort these. If she stay on my watch list, I might have to wife her. But I know better. I'm a true trading group lifer. Call up the Wolf of Weed Street. It's time to flip some profits. Go ahead, be hawking. Get your spot here. I'll double top that in the head and shoulders. Hit him up with this resistance. Watch him roll over. Cause I see John Wicks in contract. If I say I make $1 million a day, well, that's a large cap. You moving average, that's why you get crossed. Get split, get delisted, and knocked off. And I'm setting the whole block off. I'm buying GameStop and selling them roadblocks off. Jump out of bed, make profits. Eat my bacon and eggs, make profits. Light up, watching them hands, make profits. While I'm still in my sand, making profits. They used to watch me move them packs. Now I watch moves in the NASDAQ. Used to run from the ATF and them cops. Now I run down ETF. Hey, my family. Hey, go, what we doing, my man? Hey, make profits. Hey, Shug, Mike, what we doing? Hey, make profits. Yo, Wolf, Professor, what we doing? Hey, make profits. That TTG money gang, making profits. We some snipers.
Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? What's going on, folks? Welcome to the True Trading Group live stream. My name is Michael Edward Paranati. I go by Michael Edward, and I'm the co-founder and head trader at True Trading Group. For those of you guys that do not know, for those of you that are looking for and in search of how can I figure out how to incorporate AI into my trading to help me make more money, look no further. In case you didn't know, we are the recipient of the Benzinga FinTech Chairman's Award for Best AI Analysis Tool. Our AI, Mari, is something that thousands of our members use to help them make money on a regular basis. There's my business partner and I on stage at the Benzinga Global FinTech Award ceremony, receiving that award. And it is our honor to be recognized by industry leaders like Benzinga for the work that we are doing, implementing AI and creating the TTG AI platform that we have, that our members get access to, that brings together all of their tools, their resources, their indicators, their chart patterns, their news, brings it all together. They all communicate with one another inside of Mari, and that's the name of our AI. And that is something that provides actionable insight to our members while considering their own unique trading style, preferences, risk tolerance, style, strengths, weaknesses. That's really what it's about. No two people trade the same, right? We don't have the same risk tolerance. We don't have the same style. We don't have the same amount of time to be sitting in front of a computer. There's a lot of things that are different between you and I and you and millions of other traders. The best way for you to use AI is to use it in a way that is unique to you. And that's exactly what our AI allows you to do. It remembers who you are. It gives you a response and insight and actionable guidance based on your strengths, your weaknesses, your preferences. So that is the reason why we are the recipient of the Benzinga FinTech Award. It's our pleasure. It's our honor. But it's not just about awards at True Trading Group. You know, yes, we're the fastest growing and highest rated premium online educational platform that combines university level trading and investing courses with premium stock market tools, live workshops, individual mentorship and coaching for stocks, options, crypto, and futures. We day trade, we swing trade. We also cover long-term investing. There's literally something for everybody here at True Trading Group, and it's all glued and tied together with Mari, our AI. Now, you might be wondering why you should listen to anything it is that I discuss on this YouTube channel. It's not because I think I'm the world's greatest trader ever. It's because I was trained by professionals on Wall Street. My first job out of college, working at T3 Alpha Fund. They had me go through a training program before they let me touch $1 of the fund's money. And then 2008 happened, which was the Great Recession, the big stock market crash. But it's also the same year that I received one of the firm's Trader of the Year awards. Now you fast forward, I'm the co-founder and head trader of True Trading Group, along with my team of 8 other professional full-time trading mods and an over 30-person staff. We have helped thousands of members from all over the world to reach their goals. There are 10,000 members in True Trading Group from 115 different countries, truly a global community here at True Trading Group. So if you guys are ready to learn, trade, and profit for real, you have come to the right place. Throughout the week, I go live on this YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe. Smash the like button, show some love, turn on your notifications. Do not ever miss out on any of these live streams because we're dropping golden nuggets on a regular basis. Now, you may all be wondering, right? You might all be wondering, what did I uncover? What does Donald Trump, Jerome Powell, Pelosi, Biden, Diddy, what do they all have in common? And how is that going to affect the stock market tomorrow, June 19th of 2025? That is what everybody wants to know. In case you missed the thumbnail, in case you missed, the thumbnail, I would definitely go check it out because it's one of the greatest things you've ever seen in your life. And in case you guys are wondering how all of this is going to impact the markets, we will answer all of that for you. Type the number 1 in chat if that's what you want to know more than anything. There is the thumbnail. Type the number one in chat if that's what you want to know more than anything, is what does Jerome Powell, Donald Trump, Pelosi, Biden, Diddy, what do they all have in common? And how is that going to affect the stock market? Type the number one if that is all that you guys want to know more than anything else. Type the number one in chat. Specifically tomorrow. Tomorrow's a huge day. Not Diddy. Holloway, what's up, my man? New member of True Trading Group. Holloway, I'm so happy that I get to finally call you a member of TTG. I really am. Holloway just joined the other night. Holloway, how do you like it so far, bud? Being a member. I think you're just 1 or 2 days old. I think you're just 1 or 2 days old, if I'm not mistaken. Kathleen Mama Duke, how are you? I feel like I haven't talked to you in forever. I hope you are doing well. I miss you. I hope you are doing well. Excellent, Holloway. Glad to hear it, man. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. So we need to talk about this, right? We got to talk about this because Diddy, Trump, Biden, Pelosi, Powell, we got to talk about all this. They're scheming something. They're scheming something. I uncovered it. I figured it all out. It's the big plan. It's the grand master plan. All of the conspiracy theorists out there. I figured it out. Conspiracy theorists are right. We have figured it out. Guess what it is in chat. Take a guess. Anybody take a guess. What is it that I figured out? Take a guess. If you guys can guess it, we'll give you 10 grand. No BS if you guys can guess what it is. Just guess what it is. They all use oil in some way. This is true. This is true. I'm sure they do all use oil in some way, shape, or form. They all do. They all do use oil. Yeah, anybody just take a guess. They need Jesus. They definitely need Jesus. Is anyone here not a member of True Trading Group? If you're not a member, type TTG, because you probably think I'm nuts. If you're not a member, type TTG in chat real quick. If you're not a member, type TTG. Just want to see who we have in here that's not a member. Again, folks, just type the letters TTG for those of you that are not members of True Trading Group. What's up, Mike? Mike Mullins in the house. Nice. Gustavo, welcome to the family. Gustavo signed up for the 3-month membership a month ago and just became an annual member. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's why we offer that. That's why we offer the 3-month membership plan. Most of those people do not actually go through the full 90 days. Most of them within just a couple of days or weeks. In Gustavo's case, it was just a few weeks, just after 1 month, already decided, yeah, this is the place to be. And they want to be here with us. They want to join for the full year. And then they'd go ahead and they become annual members of True Trading Group. So Gustavo Medina, welcome to the family for the full year. Glad to see that you enjoyed that month you had with us and decided, listen, I'm joining right away. Gustavo, if you don't mind me asking, what was it? What was it specifically? Because you had 90 days, right? You had 3 months and you decided after 1 month, you're like, nah, I want to become an annual member. Was there anything in particular that made you decide after just 1 month, yep, this is the place I want to be? If you don't mind sharing, if there was anything that really stuck out to you over the last month. Sean Johnson, thank you. I can always count on you. Yeah, Gustavo, I'm just curious. If there was anything that stood out to you, you don't mind sharing. I want to take advantage of the exciting AI offers. That's smart, man. Smart, Gustavo, because our AI is unbelievable. Our entire platform is AI. It's not like we have like this one like AI tool. The entire platform is AI. We've spent, over 2 years and 7 figures developing this. It is, in my opinion, it's the greatest AI trading co-pilot, AI assistant that exists on the market. Benzinga thinks so. They gave us the Benzinga FinTech Award for the best AI analysis tool. We have a data partnership agreement with the NASDAQ itself. We work closely with OpenAI. We have a partnership with Unusual Whales, TradingView. All of these companies work with True Trading Group directly with an agreement and a partnership that allows us to integrate all of their tools and resources and indicators and chart patterns and news into our AI so they all can communicate seamlessly with one another and provide actionable insight based on you specifically as an individual. So it's not like if you just type something into Google and I type something into Google, if we type the exact same thing into Google, we're going to get the exact same response. If you type something into ChatGPT and I type something into ChatGPT without any, context, we're going to get the same response. Mari, our AI, will understand you, the individual, the information that you share with it, and your tendencies and your strengths and your weaknesses and your style, your position size, your risk tolerance, right? Your life schedule. It will consider all of those factors when providing you with a response and an answer. So we can ask the exact same thing and get different responses. No two people trade the same. It's unfair to expect that someone that works a full-time job that has a $2,000 Robinhood account that's been trading for 1 year, it is unfair and unrealistic to think that you are going to be able to do exactly what I do, how I do it day in and day out. In order to become a successful trader, you do not need to do everything that I do. You do not need to trade specifically the way that I do. True Trading Group and our AI platform literally was created and exists to allow you, the retail trader, the very best chance of making money as you are today, your personality, your experience, and everything else. You don't have to trade exactly the way that the moderators trade. We give you all of our trade alerts in real time. You can follow all of our trades if you want. Many of our traders do, but many of our traders use the education, the tools, the resources, the AI guidance to trade their own style, their own trades, and their own strategies, all back tested with our AI, all confirmed with our AI to help them make money. And that is what this is all about. This is all about making money. It's exactly what our members do. Members of True Trading Group, do me a favor. Just type the number 1 in chat right now. If you guys are making money, if you're becoming better traders with TTG, type the number 1 in chat right now. Anyone that's not a member, pay attention to how many people you see type the number 1, because these are your friends, your family members. These are your coworkers. These are your peers. And if these people are telling you that they can make money, there's absolutely no reason why you can't. Our members are making money not because they're luckier than you or because they're smarter than you, they have more time than you. 82% of our members have a full-time job. If they can do this, guys, so can you. There's just no reason why they can do this and you can't. None whatsoever. All right, so there you guys have it there. Again, guys, make sure that you're watching this video live. You want to make sure you're watching this video live. Click the live button at the bottom left of your screen. You should see a red dot. If you do not see a red dot, that means you're watching this video delayed. You should see a red dot. That will ensure that you're watching this live. There it is. Click that live button. So yeah, guys, again, listen, those of you that are not members, so Gustavo, join for the 90 days. We're still offering the 90-day membership plan. You guys can get access to everything it is that we have on the annual membership, you can get access to it for 90 days. You know, you don't have to commit for the full year. You know, you can just put up $247 for 90 days. That's it. You can get access to the entire platform, all the AI, the tools, the resources, all of our 22 course curriculum. You guys can get access to all of it for 90 days for just $247. You can go to ttgoffer.com. Every single thing that you see on ttgoffer.com is included in your 90-day membership. Okay, everything that is on that page is included. You guys can just go through on ttgoffer.com. Okay, click to see if you guys want to request more, and then it'll take you through everything that you guys are going to have here. Mari's not just a research tool, it's AI Copilot. Connects every part of your core membership in one intelligent, easy-to-use system. It brings together our 22-course curriculum, which is a simplified version of what I learned working at the Fund in New York, Benzinga Pro's news, real-time data for stocks, options, futures, crypto, unusual options activity, dark pool data, trading views, charting software, options flow. It's all together, working together in sync, tailored for you. You just ask Mari in plain English. It delivers fast, clear, personalized insights. You do not need to understand all these complex prompts. You can talk to it like a normal person. You get the watch list, the chat room, the trade alerts. It's all included for just $247 for 90 days. And we're so confident that once you use our AI platform, you will wonder how you ever traded without it. We will give you an extra 30 days for free if after your 90 days you are unimpressed. If after your 90 days are done, you're like, you know what, that wasn't worth $247. I'll give you an extra 30 days totally for free. The 90-day membership does not automatically renew. It does not automatically upgrade you to an annual member. If you want to be an annual member, you have to manually process that transaction like Gustavo did. But I'm very confident that in way less than 90 days, you will decide that this is the place that I want to be. And then you will become an annual member of True Trading Group. And at that point, you'll unlock our double your money back guarantee. We believe so strongly in the platform and its ability to help you make money that if you can't make back what you paid for an annual membership, you can do that at least one time after going through our courses, passing our quizzes, and attending a study group and using that AI. If you can't make back at least what you paid for the membership, we will give you back double that. That's a True Trading Group double your money back guarantee. Our refund rate is less than 2.5%, and our retention rate is hovering right around 75%. That's why we do it. That's why we offer it. Go to ttgoffer.com. You guys can join for 90 days for just $247. Any questions, text us, 1-888-621-2127. Again, that's 1-888-621-2127. With that said, it is now time for me to enter the hot seat. Yes, you all may have been wondering. You all, I think, are excited for me to once again enter the hot seat. There it is. The seat's on fire. The seat's on fire. So the way this works is my business partner and co-founder of True Trading Group, Adam, is going to come on here in just a moment. And he is going to ask me the tough questions. He's going to ask me all the tough questions. He's going to talk about what Trump, Jerome Powell, Pelosi, Biden, and Diddy all have in common and how that's going to affect the stock markets tomorrow. With that being said, it's time for me to put my butt in that seat. And everyone give a big warm AO TTG welcome to none other than Adam.
What's up, buddy?
Here he is.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Oh, okay, excellent. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. How are you?
Good.
It's hot in here.
I mean, yeah, because you're going to hell for hanging out with Diddy.
I know.
Not necessarily because of the hot seat.
It might be how I ended up in the hot seat.
Didn't you go to a Diddy party?
I did once
Yeah, I thought so.
in Miami.
Yep.
Yep. It wasn't like that. It was a normal party.
I mean, you would.
I guess I didn't stay long enough.
I mean, was it? Was it not like that, or is that?
No, it wasn't. It was totally
I
normal.
didn't even
No,
ask.
It was normal. It was a totally normal.
What is normal?
It was normal. It was a regular party. I didn't see any weird stuff. But that probably doesn't happen until like 3 a.m.
Why do you think that happens at 3 a.m.?
Because I don't think it happens at like 9:30. I don't know.
Why? How do you know?
What?
How do you know?
I don't know, man. I'm just
saying. Why does a freak off have to be at 3 a.m. and not like what happens at 3 a.m. that wasn't happening? I mean,
I don't know, because I was at the party at a normal time and it was totally normal.
What does that mean?
What do you mean? What does that mean? It means it wasn't a freak off.
What's a normal party for you?
People hanging out, having drinks, music, talking, socializing. Maybe there was like acrobatic people.
Acrobatic?
Yeah, like there was like dancers, and there was like an acrobat. I don't know.
Did you see Meek Mill?
No, I didn't see Meek Mill.
Yeah, well.
Oh man.
Yeah, poor Meek Mills.
Yeah.
So anyways. So Powell, huh? Why didn't I go? Says Blondie. I'm just not as cool. Why didn't I go if you were in Miami? What was I doing?
Probably hanging out with your 3-year-old daughter. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's
right.
Hanging out with your wife and your kid, probably.
Right. I forgot. I got married when I was 27.
Like I wasn't married.
Yeah. I forgot. It's hard to remember sometimes, you know. There was a period of time where you did a bunch of cool, fun stuff.
Right.
And I was married.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
It's all right. We did some cool, fun stuff together still.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't really want to go to a Diddy party.
I understand.
So Powell, huh?
Yeah, Powell.
Homie looks done.
What do you mean by done?
Like he looks like how I feel inside of True Trading Group.
Like tired?
Like tired, like just over it.
I guess.
I don't know. He looks like just like he was physically and you could see it, like sighing for some of the questions. Like he shut down to. I've never seen Powell shut down anything except a green tie, you know. And he was legit shutting down some stupid. I mean, to his defense, they were really stupid. But
yeah, some people ask the stupidest questions. I'm like,
yeah, man. But he knows that it's coming and whatever. He just looked like he looks like when he's done with this position, because I guess there's a new Fed coming in next year, right? Fed chair.
Well, yeah, I mean, Trump will probably appoint someone else.
Okay, he just looks like he's going to take a very long vacation.
Yeah.
And like never come back.
Yeah. His reign as chairman of the Fed has definitely not been an easy one.
No, and honestly, I don't know what side of the fence he's on or not. I don't really give a shit, but homie is the only one that has stayed. You know, and has continued to stand up at that podium and like try and remain as consistent as possible. I like Jerome Powell. I didn't think that I would. I didn't want to. You know, dug his own hole with the transient comment and stuff. But I gotta tell you, the day that man lets his hair down when he's no longer in office, I would like to be at that party.
Yeah, he's had a rough go. I got to say, he has, when he first became Fed chair, I thought he was really bad at the press conferences and like the speaking engagements. But somebody coached him up. He got so much better as his term went on. He's a master now, in my opinion, of, dodging the questions that he doesn't really want to give an answer to. And I think you saw a lot of that today, and you've seen a lot of that over the last several Fed meetings.
What questions today do you feel that he could have answered better that he didn't, or that were even relevant? I was watching the same thing you were.
Well, I guess today is not necessarily like questions that he didn't want to answer, but that they just couldn't. Like the first thing that I noticed when the Fed statement came out was the contradictory statements. Like there was a lot of stuff that just didn't make sense, because you had, in one sentence, they said that the uncertainty around the outlook, had lessened, that the uncertainty around it has gone down. Okay, that would be a good thing. But then they said that they're lowering their GDP expectation from 1.7 to 1.4, and they're increasing their inflation expectation to 3.0 or 3.1. Those would be stagflationary things, right? You're lowering GDP, you're increasing inflation. That would be not good. But then they go on to say they removed the statement from the previous Fed meeting. There was a statement in there that said that the risks of high unemployment and high inflation has gone up. They took that out. That is the inflationary state. That's the stagflationary statement. They took it out of the statement. Why would you take that out, but then lower your GDP and increase your inflation expectation, but then say that uncertainty around the outlook has decreased, but then say we don't know what the impact of tariffs is going to be on inflation? All of those things are contradictory. They don't make much sense. Mm-hmm. And that was the first thing. This is before the press conference. This is the statement that gets released at 2:00.
What would you have liked to have seen in that? Like, what do you think would have been a good answer for him?
It's not. I don't necessarily think that.
So then, what should have been left out? I don't
know. I'm not saying that I think his answers were bad. I'm saying that.
Well, if they were misleading or contradictory.
No, I don't think that they're misleading either. I think they were confusing and contradictory.
Right. So my question,
but purposely.
Okay.
I think it's.
Got it. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I think it's purposely, because the Fed doesn't know. That's what I got from the press conference. They don't know what the impact of inflation is going to be from the tariffs, because Jerome Powell said a million times, we don't know where the tariff rate is going to land. If the tariff rate lands at 5%, it's going to have a completely different impact on inflation than if it lands at 20%.
Right.
So he's like, we don't know. So this was their way of saying, okay, this is the Fed's way, I think, of saying we don't know without actually saying we don't know. Because that was what I got. And I've been sitting here wondering to myself, okay, you've got 3 really good you got 3 months of really good inflation data. And he even acknowledged it. He even acknowledged it today during a press conference. You got 3 months of really good inflation data. And I'm sitting there saying to myself, how much is enough? Like, how many months of good inflation data do you need in order to say inflation's not going to reaccelerate? Right? That's what everybody wants to know. That's what I want to know. Because every analyst and every expert said that we were going to start to see inflation from tariffs in the May CPI number. We got the May CPI number the other week, and it was under expectations. We didn't see the tariff inflation yet. So I'm saying to myself, I think you need 1 more month. Like, if June's number comes in light, then I think at that point, maybe the Fed would say, you know what? maybe this is not going to be this acceleration, that inflation is not going to accelerate. You might get a little price bump, but then inflation will then work its way back down. I wanted to hear from him today, how much longer do you need? Do you need 1 month, 2 months, 3 months? How many more months do you need of good inflation data to say inflation is under control, we're good, we don't have to worry about it? And I was hoping it was going to be 1 more month. But Jerome Powell said, specifically verbatim, that we expect to see an impact from tariffs, impact on inflation from tariffs throughout the summer, which would insist that they're not going to be happy if June's number is better than expected. He's going to want to see July's. And maybe you wait for June, you wait for July, and then you have no Fed meeting in August, but you have the Jackson Hole.
Bro, nothing interesting has ever happened at the Jackson Hole meeting.
That was sarcasm.
Yeah.
For those not keeping track at home.
That was for sure sarcasm.
Yeah. So I think that you're going to get in this statement at the Jackson Hole meeting. I think you're going to get the Fed is going to begin to forecast that they are going to cut rates at the September Fed meeting. Right now, the market is pricing in a Fed cut in September and a Fed cut in December. And I think that's correct. I think that's what we're going to see. Obviously, if oil shoots to $100 a barrel and inflation ticks higher, that'll change. But as it stands right now, we'll have to, I think that's going to be the right outcome. What did concern me a little bit was that the last Fed meeting, 4 members of the voting Fed said that they expect no rate cut in 2025. That number has gone up to 7 members saying they expect no rate cut. And
let's pause for a second. Explain to me what you mean, right? So, like, if they didn't have to cut rates, doesn't that mean that there's a level of confidence in the economy?
No, because right now they are restrictive. Like, they're already restrictive with where they are. The only reason why they're holding rates where they are is because they still want to get inflation back down to 2%. They're not holding inflation where it is because the economy is so strong. They're holding it to make sure that inflation doesn't go back up. The economy has held together pretty well, okay, that has allowed them the opportunity to stay where they are to make sure that inflation comes back down. So, I think that we need to see. I'll tell you this. If we go this whole year without any rate cuts, I don't think that's a good thing. That I think is a bad thing. I think the markets would react negatively to it, and I think the economy needs it. I think there's no reason to go the whole remainder of this year with rates where they are.
Based off of what?
Based off of the economy slowing and if inflation continues to cooperate. That's the question mark. We don't know if inflation is going to continue to cooperate. It's been good the last 3 months. If it's good for the next 3 months, then there's absolutely no reason why the Fed should not cut rates.
Right. I mean, if everything is going okay, even if things are softening and whatever, which they have been, but you heard him say something today that you had said, I think a year ago or 2 years ago. There's something about that the historical unemployment rate sat just below 5% or just over 5% over the last 20 years or something like that.
Yeah, the average unemployment rate for the last 25 years is right around 5%.
Right. So he even said it today. He was like, hey, the unemployment rate that we're seeing right now is, in any other situation would be a good unemployment rate.
Yeah, it's a good unemployment rate even now. I mean, 4.2% is a good unemployment rate.
Right.
And the Fed, the worst the Fed sees it getting, they said was 4.5, which is still not bad.
I got to go back to those live streams where you were talking about that. I want to see the number that you actually said. I bet you it's pretty spot on.
The number I said for what?
For the unemployment rate, what it would end up being.
Yeah, I think I said that I would expect the unemployment rate to hover in like the low to mid 4s.
I also really liked what he said about AI, obviously, right? Like I'm partial, but I liked what he said, that it would, maybe eliminate some of the mundane jobs, but it would create opportunity for a lot of other people and increase productivity. That he didn't see it like, they pressed him on that. He didn't really see it as something that was going to like take jobs from people, but would create opportunity for those that would use it.
Yeah.
And I really, and for somebody that's obviously above the age of 60 years old, I don't know how old he is, but he's definitely over 60.
Yeah.
Right? We agree on that. I mean, I could check.
Yeah. Listen, I think AI. I think it's just like
72 years old.
What?
He's 72 years old.
Yeah. I think just like anything else, like any other advancement in technology, like if you made VHS tapes and you just continue to make VHS tapes and VCRs, then you were going to go out of business if you didn't keep up with technology. But the people that then started to make DVDs and DVD players, their business started to boom. And the people that just stayed making DVDs and DVD players ended up going out of business. And the people that went into streaming, their business boomed, right? Like you have to keep up with technology. I think that AI is going to be exactly like that. I think the people that just stay exactly where they are, fixing their ways and don't adapt to AI technology are going to get left behind. And the ones that do understand how to incorporate it into their everyday life, whether it's their trading, whether it's work or whatever it is, I think those are going to be the people that are going to leapfrog ahead, and they're going to get the ones that are going to have all of the opportunity, which is why we put such an emphasis on AI. Amazon actually put out a note to their employees today that was talking about that how they expect AI to reduce the size of their workforce. Like it's going to happen. It's going to get rid of some jobs, but then it's going to create others.
Yeah, absolutely. So, John says AI will cut about 30% of the jobs in the future. Good, cut it.
Yeah.
Get them the fuck out. And then let it build opportunity back up. So maybe it cuts 30% of jobs in the short term, but maybe it increases opportunity for people and increases jobs for those that want to, do something a little bit different, in the future. So that's, and that's how progress works.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about exactly what you said, the .com boom or, anything else. I had a conversation today. Think about the guy that owned the advertising agency, like in the times of like, I don't know when Mad Men took place, but what, like the 40s, right? What was it? I don't know. Point is that you own an ad agency back in the 30s and the 40s, and it's all print and billboards and stuff, right? And you could have the biggest ad agency in the world, and you're on top of the world, and then the TV comes out, and then now you have to learn how to do commercials, and then commercials, are there, and then after commercials you have, whatever it is, the internet, and then after the internet you have this, and so on and so forth, right? And I'm sure there were a lot of people that had jobs that were, it was their job to maybe do something in advertising on the billboard or the news, in the newspaper, right? Or something like that, right? And yeah, and I'm sure those people lost their jobs, and I'm sure that for those people that were willing to adapt, they found new ones. And that's just par for the course.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's just is what it is. Which I think is why it is so important for people, whether it's trading or anything else, to just be in control of what it is that you're doing for yourself. If your whole plan is hope and pray that you're gonna be in a secure position forever or for long enough, then you're screwed. Because you have no control over that.
Yeah, man. Yeah. It's the best way. Listen, if you're worried about your job, the best way or the best thing for you to do is to develop a skill that you'll have to rely on no one other than yourself to earn a buck. And that's why I always go back to trading and how lucky we are, because it is truly the most recession proof or advancement in tech proof profession that anybody could have, because it doesn't matter if the economy is booming or if the economy is in a depression, the stock market's open.
Well, you saw it firsthand. The world was absolutely falling apart. Everybody felt like, everyone felt like we were, in the movie Outbreak, and the whole world was going to shit, and the stock market was open every day.
Yep.
The small mom and pop restaurant was not open every day.
That's right.
Major airlines were not open every day. Hotels were not open every day. Factories were not open every day.
Everything was closed.
Everything.
The stock market stayed open.
Yeah. If that's not enough look, everyone in here, I would assume, unless you're Brendan Fraser or whoever, and I don't mean the actor, he's lovely. I mean our member. Everyone in here, I'm sure, wants to have some sort of a financial cushion or savings account or some sort of something, And I think that was the big lesson during COVID, was that, hey, you know what? This is something that they cannot take away.
Yep.
This is something they cannot take away, because I could lose my job, I could do whatever, but if I got a couple $100 here and I actually know a little bit about what I'm doing, then maybe I can go ahead and pay this month's bills.
That's right. We had a lot of members, bro. We had a lot of members that lost all of their income during COVID, and they made ends meet, and they paid their bills with the money they were making trading with us. And that is a beautiful thing. It is the ultimate financial security. I don't know why people feel like, having a job gives you financial security. It doesn't. No, it is the opposite of financial security.
Hold on. It is and it isn't. It provides a level of normalcy.
Normalcy, right. But it's not security.
It is for some. That's how they view it. I mean, look.
I understand that's how they view it, right? But you're reliant on somebody else's decisions to earn a living, right? So if your boss or the company decides, oh, you know what, we got to go through some layoffs, we got to lay off 1,000 people, and you just get lumped into that, not because you were bad at your job, not because you didn't care, not because you didn't show up early and leave late and do all the extras to try to, do the best for the company and impress the boss, and you gave 10 years of your life to the company, and overnight your job's gone. That if you're able to get to a point where you are able to make money in the market, then even in the unfortunate situation event that something like that were to happen to you, at least I can at least pay my bills and meet my obligations this month while you try to find another job. Instead of having your back up against the wall with nowhere to turn and feel like your whole life just crumbled around you, which is what happened to so many people, millions of people during COVID. And it's what happens to millions of people when a recession comes.
Yeah.
How many people here relate to what I'm saying? Type the number 1. If you guys at least relate to what I'm saying. I lost my business during COVID. Trading gave me a way to come back from it. Fibonacci, there you go right there. There you go. Seth goes, it's literally the only reason I started watching Mike back in 2019 was to learn how to trade and to be able to make my own money without relying on someone else to write my checks. I've been a member since 2020. Amen to that. Yeah, good. See, people relate, right? You guys like what we're doing here today? A little bit of a different style of a live stream. Don't just type 1. Maybe just share the stream. Share the stream on your own social media, and then maybe just type done in chat once you guys share the stream. Pamela left their job trading full time. Hell yeah. Pamela, I remember when you told me that. I still remember, Pamela, when you told me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to slave away in someone else's field. Amen, Brandon. There you go.
Yeah.
Work for yourself. Work for yourself, you know? I'm not saying everyone should just quit their job and be a trader. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that wouldn't it be nice if you can make a couple extra $1,000 a month?
Why don't you think that everyone does it then? If it's, I mean, because look, I know that you say, oh, it's not simple, but we asked to type number one and everyone types the number one. And why do you think that everyone just doesn't do it?
Because I think
let me ask you a question. Do you think there's some people watching that like, hey, stay at your job because you're effing dumb and you're not going to be able to do this, and whatever you make boxes for a living, then stay making boxes for as long as they keep you?
No, I think everybody should. I think everybody is owes it to themselves to at least give it a real fair shot, and that's the problem. The problem is that most people don't actually give themselves a real fair shot. They just try to start trading without knowing at all what to do, and then they're shocked when they fail.
Well, why do you think that they? I mean, why do you think that they think that? Why do you think they think they can trade? And who are you? How do you know what's a real? And I'm not trying to give you shit or be confrontational. I'm asking seriously. How do you judge what a real shot is? Maybe to someone that was the best that they could do. Maybe the best they could do, even if it's misplaced, was putting all the money they had into AMC or GME, not knowing any better, believing the hype, or following, a trade, because you have losing trades, following a trade of yours that was a loser and losing money on it, and that was the best that they could do at that time. What do you say to those people? Like, hey, fucking pack it in?
No, when I say when I'm saying like a real shot, right, and to actually get a real shot, I don't mean like, I'm not referring to like an amount of effort or something like that. What I'm referring to is there's a very big difference between someone saying, I want to try to trade, and they open up a Robinhood account or a Webull account and they say, I think Tesla's going to go up, and they buy a call option and it doesn't work out. And they just do that, and they go on Twitter or X, whatever, and they go into a free Discord room and someone's pumping some 20-cent penny stock and they buy it at 25 cents, then it goes to 5 cents and they end up a bag holder. Like, there's the wrong way to try to approach trading, of thinking that it's a get rich quick scheme. You're going to make $100,000 overnight if you just find the stock that's going to go up 10,000%, right? Like, people don't necessarily know what to do. And obviously that's not giving you a fair shot, right? That's you just, diving in. That's you walking through a minefield blindfolded. You're asking for trouble. That's very different from someone that actually gets trained and educated by a professional that has done this for 2 decades, okay, that has proven success and proven strategies, that has been through it, that understands what to do, how to use indicators, how to use chart patterns, what's the right approach, what's the right mindset, how do you control risk, how it's more important to control your risk than it is to try to hit home runs, and like actually understand, okay, this is how to trade for real. Now let me give that a shot. That's your best chance of becoming successful. It's understanding how to actually trade properly. Just like when I first started working at the fund in New York, I didn't know how to trade, but it was a professional firm. It was a fund, and they taught me how to trade. So I was taught from the beginning the right way to do it. Now, that doesn't mean if you're taught the right way, everybody's going to be successful, because that's also not true, and that's also not realistic. But at least you've got a real chance. You have a real shot. And that is why members of your trading group are successful at a far greater rate than the average person, because the average person doesn't ever understand how to do it properly. Teaching members do.
Yeah, but they didn't all know that at the beginning.
What's that?
They didn't all know that at the beginning.
Right. A lot of people don't know that. Most people don't know that. It's not their fault, right? I don't. It's not their fault. It's just they just didn't know. They didn't know. Okay, this is how I'm supposed to trade. This is how trading actually works. Once you're actually taught properly, now you're ready. Now you have a fair chance. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. What would you say to somebody that says, hey, you know, I want to do this, but I can't lose. I don't have the money to lose. I got to make sure whatever I do that I do it the right way because I just don't have it to lose. What would you say to that person?
Then I would tell the person, just start trading on a simulator. Trade on a simulator.
That's what you would tell them? You would just say, hey, the simulator?
I would tell them, do not trade with real money.
But there's a big thing that I think you're missing there.
Which is what?
You're going to lose. Everyone loses.
Right.
Okay.
You're going to have losing trades.
Right. What I'm saying
is, you can't lose money right now. That I was going to say, okay, well, trade on the simulator.
No. Sure. What I'm saying, just to be more clear, is I think that there are a lot of people that think that, you know, for every, you know, one loser, then you need to have 10 big winners, you know, or something like that. I think that there, maybe not people in your trading group or whatever, but I think there's a lot of people out there that are like, hey, you know, the closer your win rate is to 100, you know, the better trader that you are and the more profitable you're going to be. And I think that there's a lot of people that believe that, and a lot of people that think like, well, I'm going to follow this person and I'm going to adopt this style, and if I lose money, then it was absolute horseshit. And that's not real life.
No. Yeah, you're spot on, dude. Yeah, that was actually, so I didn't, you're right. I misunderstood what you were saying before. So I get what you're saying now. That is 100% accurate. You do not need a 90% win rate in order to be a good trader. You don't need an 80% win rate to be a good trader. You don't need a 75% win rate to be a good trader. You're right that the average person will go and they'll try to find like somebody on social media or somebody like myself or somebody that, I'm going to follow what this person does. And if I lose money on their trade, they suck and their strategy doesn't work and they need to be right all the time. And they need to have the ability to predict the future. And I don't have any of those things and I'm not right all the time. I make losing trades too. I make a hell of a lot more winning trades than I do losing trades, but I still do make losing trades. And the easiest way for somebody to make more money trading than they are currently, or to just make money, period, if you're not making money, the easiest way to do that is not increasing your win rate. Increasing your win rate is actually the hardest thing for you to do. It also does not guarantee you are going to make more money. The easiest way to guarantee you are going to make more money is to lose less when you're wrong. The average person, every time they make a losing trade, they get killed. They lose way too much when they are wrong. And if you just lost a smaller amount when you're wrong, it's the easiest and fastest way for you to become a profitable trader. Most people there's 1,600 people on this live stream. Most people on this live stream that are not yet profitable, I'm willing to bet you if they actually controlled their risk in a meaningful way, they'd already be profitable. The problem is most people, their average losing trade is larger than their average winning trade. They'll lose 500 when they're wrong. They make 350 when they're right. They have a 60% win rate. Therefore, you are still losing money. You need to get it to the point where you make $300 when you're right and you lose $200 or $225 when you're wrong. That's what you need to get it to. That's how you can be a 50% win rate trader, a 48% win rate trader, and still make money. Getting your win rate into the 70s is not an easy thing to do. but you don't have to get your win rate there in order for you to turn a profit. You can turn a profit with a low win rate and work your win rate up over time as you get better as a trader. Risk management is the most important part of trading. I will give you this quote. I say it all the time. Members know it well. If you're not a member, this is the first time you're hearing it, write it down. Successful traders are more concerned with how much they'll lose if they're wrong. Struggling traders are more concerned with how much they'll make if they're right. I'll say it one more time. Successful traders are more concerned with how much they'll lose if they're wrong. Struggling traders are more concerned with how much they'll make if they're right. And that change in mindset will have a very big impact on your P&L. And you're not going to hear, listen, you're not going to hear a lot of people tell you that. I'm going to tell you what you need to hear in order to give yourself the very best chance of making money. And I'm not going to blow smoke up your ass, and I'm not going to insult your intelligence. I'm not going to tell you that I have a 99.9% fail-proof system. I'm not going to tell you that I can help you make $1,000 a day in 10 minutes for every day. I see these people online. They're like, why trade the whole day? Trade with me for 10 minutes. This one simple system. You're done by 9:40. It's the stupidest shit I've ever seen in my life. I'm not going to blow smoke up your ass. I'm not going to tell you that stuff. I'm not going to tell you this is a get-rich-quick scheme, but I am going to tell you everything that you need to know in order for you to have the very best chance of actually becoming successful and actually making money doing this so that you could experience what it's like to have that financial security that everybody dreams of. It's there. It's possible. Members of True Trading Group are living it every single day. But you got to do it the right way.
What is the right way? And get educated. I get it. And join True Trading Group, sure. But what the right way is what?
Looking at trading in a sense of just because you make money on a trade doesn't mean it's a good trade. Just because you lose money on a trade doesn't mean it's a bad trade. People have to get that thought out of their head. Okay? There is no pattern, there's no indicator, there's no setup that has 100% success rate. If that's true, if that's true, which it is, that's fact, then it's not fair to say I made a trade, I lost money, the trade didn't work, and therefore I did something wrong, or that was a really bad trade. No, it's a bad trade if you lost more than your risk unit. Your job is not to be right on every trade that you make. Your job is to identify high probability setups. So you need an education to understand what a high probability setup looks like. Okay, that's step one. An education to identify those high probability setups and build a strategy that, through back testing and through previous experiences works and is successful over the long run and over time. That's step one. Then you need the patience to wait for those setups. When you identify them, you then need the confidence to actually act on them when you see them. And you put yourself on the right side of that probability over and over and over again. Yeah, knowing full damn well that not every time that setup is going to work. And the times that it doesn't work, you need to make sure that you do not lose more than what your risk tolerance is. That's your job. And if you can do that without all the emotions of, oh no, I'm losing, oh my God, I'm making, oh no, oh yes, okay. If you can do that without all of those emotions, that's how you're going to have, that's doing it right. That's trading properly. Not dumping all of your account into some call option because somebody on Discord told you the stock was going to go to the moon.
Right.
That's not it.
I mean, guys, go ahead. There's a poll right now in the chat. 81 people have answered it. I know we asked it at the beginning, but honestly, if you guys could just go ahead and just click yes or no, it's super simple. This way it helps us kind of gauge who we're talking to. So if you could take a second and answer that poll, that would be really, 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 really helpful. And we would greatly appreciate it, right? Literally a yes or no question. So I guess what would you tell someone then that, that, because look, not everyone here, I mean, there are people here that want to make extra money, but not everyone here has this mindset of like, bro, I gotta be super, super serious. I gotta fucking ignore my kids. I gotta ignore my job. I gotta drain my bank account. I gotta do this in a way that is as intense as you are. And what if you just want to follow alerts, or you just want to, make a little extra money or dip your toe in the water? What do you say to that person? What if you're not so like gung ho? You just know that like your neighbor made a bunch of money on spy calls over the last year, and you want a little bit of that shit too.
Yeah, that's fine. That's all great. I mean, that's what it is. That's what gets your interest, and that's what gets you involved. And if you want to just follow alerts, you certainly can. You certainly can. But then it just goes back to, financial security. And the real goal is for people to be able to.
The real goal for you. Maybe that's not maybe somebody's got a fucking awesome job, and their real goal is, I just want to make an extra 20 grand a year because I can use that money to take one awesome trip every year.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you don't want to learn anything, that's what I'm saying. You can follow alerts if you want to. There's a reason why all the moderators and myself, we send out real-time alerts when we enter and exit positions. A lot of our members follow the alerts. Some members follow the alerts and also make their own trades. It just depends on what it is that you want. I'm not kidding when I say there's something literally for everybody at your trading group. We day trade, we swing trade, we do long-term portfolio stuff, we trade stocks, options, futures, we do it all. So, I mean, there literally is something for everyone, no matter what it is that you want. It just depends on what are your goals. What are you looking to accomplish? What are you looking to achieve? And honestly, your goals change.
And what if you don't know, brother? What if you're just somebody that's like, hey, you know what? I don't make a lot of money. I have a job. I like my job. I'm grateful for my job. It puts a roof over my head and food on the table, and I can still do the things that I want to do. Right? For sure. But what if I'm not looking to be a full-time trader? What if I literally just want to maybe I just want to do something fun?
I don't understand the question. We mean, what if you don't want to be a full-time trader? So what do you?
It's crazy, but what I'm saying is that what if, I feel like sometimes, we're like, the goal is financial independence, the goal is financial freedom, the goal is this, the goal is that. And for a lot of people, yeah, that is the goal. But there's other people that don't know what they're doing in their own careers, or they think they have a good idea, but they really don't know their ass from their elbow, and have a hard time committing to like brown socks versus black socks on a daily basis. So I don't think that those people know, and I think that, it doesn't have, I think that what's cool about the way that this works also is that you don't have to be, either all or absolutely nothing.
I never
seen it. I didn't say that you did. Yeah, I'm just saying that I think that I try not to alienate people is, I guess, what I'm trying to do. Mm-hmm. I think that you can be, somebody that is okay with their own life and in the point that they're at, and still want to try to do something different.
Of course.
And you figure it out, when you figure it out.
Absolutely.
People, somebody asked me the other day, I get this question all the time, right? And the question is, well, how long is it going to take, right? I got to do the courses at True Trading Group. I got to do those courses. And then once I do the courses, then, everything's going to be right as rain, and I'm going to get it. And I'm going to, everything's going to be great. Brother, I gotta tell you, I don't know if that's how it works either. I don't think that, that's like saying, I'll give you an example. I was training to be I was trying to get my private pilot license. And I answered a lot of, read a lot of manuals and a lot of stuff about weather and navigation, stuff like that. Bro, the last thing you want me to do is flying you across the country. I promise.
I can't believe I got in the plane with you that one time.
I know, but I'm just saying that you don't want that from me. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
And that's with, well over 100 hours of training, And there's a couple of things here to consider is that just going through because I also talked to we've had a lot of members sign up and a lot of people come back to True Trading Group recently. And the one thing they say is, I'm not doing the courses, I'm not doing what I should be doing, I'm not doing it. Well, and my response is, well, what do you think you should be doing? What do you think happens when you finish the courses? Do you think you become Warren Buffett? Do you think that you finish the courses and all of a sudden you become like the next billionaire? Is that how this works? And the answer is absolutely not. The courses are a great way to start. And I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's a great way to start and a great way to get your bearings. But there is no substitution from learning from experience.
Absolutely.
And you may understand a cautionary tale from somebody that blew up their account, but you don't know what that's like until you actually do it.
Mm-hmm.
You may think it's awesome to have a winning trade where you make thousands of dollars in a day, but until you do it, you don't actually understand what it took to get there.
Yep.
Which is crazy because so many people attribute it to, well, I've already spent enough money. I've already done enough effort. I've already taken enough courses. I've already done enough of this, and this, but they're still not where they want to go. So like, obviously you haven't. Because if you would have, then you would be where you needed to be. And that's different for everyone. My needs in order to gain experience and knowledge and be able to be successful are different from yours and everyone else's and vice versa. And some people pick things up a lot easier and wrap their heads around things a lot easier and some don't. And that's part of how it works.
Yeah.
I just think that you can't demand that you want something and then also and then never get it, never achieve it, even though you're trying, which definitely counts for something. And then think, I've done enough to get there. Like, how the fuck do you know?
Right.
I want to be an astronaut. Like, how do I know I did enough to get there? I've never been an astronaut. I don't know.
Yeah. Everyone's got their own,
You for a minute wanted to be in the adult entertainment business, but your mangina wouldn't let you, I mean, it's all par for the course,
I wasn't expecting that one.
I know. I saw that you were back. I wanted to see if I get your attention back.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's got their own journey, man. Everyone's got their own path, their own process. People learn at different paces. People put different amounts of time towards something. And, that's what I mean by like that's where I really think that our AI comes into play, because no two people are the same. It doesn't matter how much time you have to do this. If you have a couple hours a week or you have 20 hours a week, it doesn't matter if you have $200 in your account or 200 grand in your account. It's not about that. It's not there's different styles and strategies for different people. And I went back to what I said in the beginning, that it's insane to think that every single person of True Trading Group is going to just do exactly what I do, the way that I do it and how I do it, because that's just not realistic. It's not fair to even think that. And that's why I think, having Mari and having RAI to be able to, bring all the tools and resources, all the data, the news, the setups, the charts and everything, and the indicators and analyze it all and let them all talk to each other and communicate with each other and analyze it all while considering you, the individual, to help you determine and build a trading plan that works for you. Like if you're not able to sit in front of your computer screen, if you're a truck driver and you're on the road 14 hours a day, it's going to be really hard for you to trade a small cap and get in and out, in and out, in and out if you're on the road. Like, that's not something you're going to be able and capable of doing. So that's where I think having Mari and having that AI to help guide people based on themselves and their unique situation is crucial, because it all goes back to, again, giving you the best chance of being successful. If that's the only trading style, right, scalping in and out of small caps, if that's the only trading style that you're going to try to teach someone that's a truck driver or a police officer, okay, during the day, they are not going to be able to do that. They will fail at that. So they have to be trading in a different way, a different style, a different strategy. And that's why I feel like, that's where I think, honestly, the AI really comes into play, is something that can really be a big difference maker in people having success or not.
Right. All right. So what do you think happens in the market tomorrow? You shouldn't even, you should keep it going, because I want to see the three people in here that are like, it's closed. Like, I want to see those people.
Yeah. Like someone will comment like after the live stream, like, you idiot.
Right. Watch you all.
Yeah, you're shoving courses. You don't even know the market's closed tomorrow.
Oh my God. Follow Miss Diane. Not that Diane. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I know. Yes, I know what you mean.
Yeah, man. Well, look, it'll be very interesting to see what happens on Friday.
Yeah.
I always feel like these days where you have the stuff in the middle of the week, and then Friday, like, it could be such like a sleeper day where you don't expect like the action that you're going to see. I feel like we've seen a lot of that.
Bro, I think Friday is going to be a very exciting day, because usually some of the best movement comes the day after a Fed meeting. That's number one. And then when the market's closed tomorrow. So the market's not going to be able to price and react to everything that happened today with the Fed. And you also have everything that's going on with Israel and Iran and the United States. And Trump's been saying a bunch of stuff regarding Iran. Iranian officials just kind of, made some comments as well. You got everything that happened in crypto today. You had the Senate pass the Genius Act. Circle is going nuts. The stablecoin company.
What is the Genius Act?
It's with the stablecoins. So the stablecoin company CRCL, which is a recent IPO, just absolutely went nuts. The stock is up 44% today alone. This is one of our big trades from earlier this week. We actually got long the stock on Friday, and then we got long at 1:30. Let me pull it up on my screen, so you can see what the stock is doing right now. It's up 44% after hours. It's still going higher. We close at 197 or something. We're at 215 now. We bought this stock at $113 on Friday and sold out of it when it popped into the 150s on Monday for a quick little swing. And then obviously, today was a news-driven thing, and the stock is now at 200. We'd be up if we were still in. You're up $100 a share. I'm not in the position anymore. I sold at 154. I was long at 113. It was a huge trade for us. But this thing's going nuts. Coinbase went nuts today. Coinbase asking the SEC for approval for tokenized securities. Coinbase up 16% today. So you're getting some wild movement in some of these crypto names. So I think between the crypto stocks, the day after a Fed meeting, everything happening in the Middle East, I think that Friday is actually going to be a very active day. I was considering taking off on Friday but I'm like, no way, no how. I'm going to be here. I think that the market activity has been way too good. The opportunities are way too abundant. We're making, there's too many great trades on a daily basis, and a day off is money lost, and that's the way that I look at it. So I'll be right here on Friday trading just like it's a regular old Tuesday, because I think there's going to be tons of opportunity for us to make money.
Nice. Yeah, I think you may be right about that. All right, man. Well, I'm good.
All right. Yeah, good stuff. Nice stream.
Yeah, I think it was a bit of a different pace,
A horse of a different color.
Yeah. So, what else? You typing to me? What are you doing?
No, I'm just going through charts.
Weird charts. Oh man.
What happened?
Nothing. Oh.
Well, guys, listen, again, those of you that are not members, if you guys want to check us out and use the AI, I'm telling you, once you use it, you're never going to want to trade without it. Just go to ttgoffer.com. Everything that's listed there, it's all included for 90 days. It's only $247. You know damn well you've lost more than $247 before.
I feel like you should stop saying that. They know they've lost more than $240, but don't say it like that. Like,
sometimes you gotta remind them.
Spin
You
it
gotta remind them how easily they'll.
On a positive note, yeah, they lost $247 on a bad trade, but they probably also, I know some of the people in here, Brendan Fraser, lost it to prostitution.
Why are you picking on Brendan Fraser?
Because he has. I don't know if he has. I say that with authority, but I have no idea. He just seems like the guy that would get go to 8th Street and they're like 247 or 250 and he's like 247 and then nothing happens and they walk away and he has to drive home by himself. I'm just saying, I feel like it's not the money, but I feel like it's, yeah, they spent 247 on dumber stuff, but this isn't dumber stuff.
No, this is something I think can actually.
I feel like maybe you got to sell that a bit. Like it's maybe sell that a bit different. Not that you've spent money on dumber things. You've never spent money. You've never spent $247 on something that has the potential within 90 days to double, triple, or even potentially quadruple that amount of money. Not that it will. But that potential is there, and it is real.
Very real.
You don't get that kind of action anywhere else.
It's true. Yeah, it's well said.
That is how I would.
Yeah, I like that. Fair. I like that. It's well said. It's the best $247 that you'll ever spend.
Yeah. And if it turns out, hey, it didn't make any money, it's okay. You'll blow it later on something else. You'll make it back. Thank God we still live in a time where $247 is still only $247.
Right. Exactly.
So listen, and for us, it's a business move. For those that are like, oh, it's $247 now, but then when I get in, they're going to sell me more. Yeah, fuck yeah, we do. That's the whole point. We give you everything for $247, but we give you enough to where you have a real chance at being successful.
That's right.
We give you enough to where you really don't need to pay for anything else if you didn't want to. But the crazy part is that you're going to want to. And it's not because of how great a salespeople we are. It's because when something works and you make money doing it, you want more of it.
It's very true.
So the 247, like those old Dare commercials, man. That's just a free taste. I'd be afraid to join for the 247 because you're gonna, have the potential to do so well that you'll be like, crap, man, if I didn't spend that 247, maybe I wouldn't have, spent, all that other money. But then, hey, look where I'm at now, and I'm at a Diddy party with Mike.
It always ends up at a Diddy party.
So full circle, right?
Yeah, good job. Tied it all together.
Thank you.
Oh, Benzinga award too. Joe threw in there. Look at that smirk I have on too. Why did you? I mean, you couldn't.
I didn't make that smirk. That is your smirk.
No, but why is my head like transposed on another body? Why didn't you just use the rest of my body?
Because I have a bust shot of you, and that's it.
Oh.
Damn, they got Pelosi's droopy ass eyes in there too, Look at that. They got the botch face job and everything.
Biden's having way too much fun back there.
Look at no idea where he is.
That's the look at the smirk on Jerome Powell's face. I haven't seen Jerome Powell smile in years. Guys, he just looks miserable. When he comes up there, he's like, hey guys, all right, it's just like he looks so miserable.
What a random segue.
Yeah, Joe's just back there throwing images up.
Yeah, he doesn't even, there's no rhyme or reason any of it.
Yeah, there we are receiving the award for best AI analysis tool. Yeah, guys, go to ttgoffer.com, 90 days, $240, $247. It's right there. If you guys have any questions, just send a text message. We'll answer any questions you guys have. 1-888-621-2127. If you guys used to be a member, you want to come back and get this deal, not a problem. We'd love to have you back. Text that number, 1-888-621-2127. Otherwise, go right to ttgoffer.com and join us. Use the AI, use the platform, trade with us. Let's make some damn money together. That's double. Let's turn that 247 into 500. Let's go. Let's make some money together. It's going to be, I think it's going to be an action-packed Friday. And then obviously we got a lot more going on throughout the summer and everything else with inflation and rate cuts and tariffs. And don't forget the tariff deadline is coming up. So, I don't expect this volatility to go away anytime soon, folks. Join us, ttgoffer.com.
Glenny riding a unicorn?
That was a leprechaun riding a unicorn.
Oh, I thought it was Glenny riding a unicorn.
Glenny doesn't have red hair, does he?
I don't know.
Well, folks, that's it. All right, ttgoffer.com. Text us otherwise, 1-888-621-2127. Markets are closed tomorrow. I will see you guys on Friday. Have a wonderful rest of your night, folks. Subscribe to the channel and smash that like button. Show some love. See you guys all later. Have a wonderful rest of your night.
Bye.
Bye.